Pasha Pyro, YNet7, thank you for tuning the replay. So, I've been putting in that work. I've been putting in that effort. I got the destination. I'm on the journey. Welcome to the channel. Glad you decided to come along. So, in all my investing in production of this channel, I neglected to tell you all exactly what you should expect to get. Welcome to the channel. This video is going to go over what value YNet7 provides. Okay? So it's going to let you know why you're going to want to subscribe, why you're going to be hitting a lot of like buttons, why you're going to be in the comments, why you're going to be sharing. It's going to let you know that. See, that video right there, what does it look like to settle? We got work to do. I'm going to replace that with this one because this will be the informative version that you need to see when you first arrive here. Welcome to the channel. So glad to have you. Thank you very much. So what this video is going to do is it's going to tell you why the content on this channel will let. I'm not a church. It's not a church. But it all hit me when you get a donation, someone's way of saying thank you. Let you know how much you empowered them, how much you freed them. I'm not expecting every donation to be 3 figures. However, every bit helps keep the channel alive. Thank you for your support in the future, if not right now. So, what you're going to see when you come to the channel may look a little different than some other channels because I got a lot of content and I divided it up into sections for you. And this video is also going to tell you how they're all connected, no matter how different they seem to be. The newest addition is going to be the stock market section, because I believe our communities should experience financial freedom. Freedom of time, freedom to create. So, Big Board Pep is the section for you if you're new to trading, if you're not new to trading. We'll grow together learning techniques to earn more profit in the stock market. And it's for entertainment only. By all means, I am not a professional. I do not have a license. I just enjoy sharing my own personal log. The next session is going to be the tarot files. That's for all the tarot lovers out there in love with tarot. This section is for you. We're going to actually be doing general tarot readings here for all signs. And by all means, this section shows a conscious relationship is a relationship that's created purposefully, decisively, and with intent. And if you're interested in a personal reading, feel free to hit me up at the tarotfiles@gmail.com. Now, a very important section is the Life Vibe series, because we're actually going to break down human emotion to the point where it's been calibrated, which gives you a scale to help you identify where you're at on the scale. Because part of my purpose here is to assist others in their own ascension process. And the final section, at least at this time, is the etymology, energies / law of attraction. And see, that's down here at the bottom. And if you notice these views, this is the section with the least amount of views, but this is the section that started it all. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some videos here that have over like 6,000 views right now and growing. But then there's these ones that's got 10 and 3, you know. But that's the truth about the whole situation. See, nobody, I ain't gonna say nobody, but very few people dig beneath the surface. You see what I'm saying? Very few people get into the fabric, the glue that holds us all together, like the song So-So. You see what I'm saying? I do music too, but in the beginning, I used to promote it on some of my videos. You used to hear little clips and stuff. You know, if you like it, great. If you don't, excuse that period of time when I was doing trial and error, developing my content. It's a learning process. But I have another channel for my music. It's Pasha Pyro. You can Google that. Everything will come up. This is my most valued give back to the community. YNet 7. So, at the core of everything is etymology. Because we're dealing with the law of attraction. And then, you know, if you're not scientific, and don't argue about who's right when you're both saying the same thing, because the science community calls it the law of attraction. Quantum physics says it's a magnetic attraction. Prayer says whatever you're praying, you're asking to receive. So everybody's saying the same thing in different languages. At the core, it's etymology. Because if you don't know what you're asking for, if you don't know what the words mean, if you don't know the energies injected into the core, you'll never know what you're broadcasting. And if you don't know what you're broadcasting when you're speaking or thinking, you don't know what your antenna is tuned to receive. And that really, really causes a lot of dis-ease in our communities. So this is stories dealing with my own theory of process, experiential therapy, law of attraction, and etymology's connection. And I hope you enjoy. So let's get to the core. What's really going on here now that we reviewed the channel? Oh, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And let's get this up. Let's get this number up. And share. And all that good stuff. Okay? All right. So, let's talk about it. Because you're here for a reason. Because what I want to do is I want to speak to the minds that's going to change the world. Because everybody's asking for change, but nobody wants to change. I ain't going to say nobody, you know. That's why you here. You about to do big things. You about to move up. You're doing your part in your ascension process. Okay? So at the core of it all, like I said, it's energy. Some of y'all know this as an electric universe or a realm. And that's what explains. That's the only thing that explains everything. Right? Energy, electrons, attraction, repulsion. That's what this is going on. I know I said that wrong, but work with me. I got more videos to put out. Stay tuned for the tarot reading later on this afternoon. So, well, what is energy? See, energy is the force of expression. You see, that's what it originally means. All right. So anything that came after that is slang. Don't get it twisted. So force of expression. An object at rest remains at rest unless acted on by outside force. You know all this stuff. You've heard it all before. It's a force of expression. Is it stagnant? Is it moving? Is there action? Is there no action? It's a force of expression. Now, if you read on there, it says activity, operation. The general meaning of power is first recorded in 1665. Like 70 years later, they came up with the slang to say it's an application in scientific sense of the power to do work, as in mechanical energy, is first recorded in 1807. Energetic, in 1651, they decided to make an adjective as slang. Powerful, in activity or effect. Right? Energy. The sense of pertaining to people as vigorous is first recorded in 1796. So at the root of it all, you got force of expression. See, but you got to know what force is. Because force was about the 1300s. This is how they can build upon it, because force came first in definition. And what it says is strong. Right? So let's look at strong. Strong means bold and severe. So basically, let's go back to this. Energy is the bold and severe of expression, right? So you can say expression, bold and severe expression. So what does it mean to express? It's to state, to represent, to depict. Let's take it back. So energy is the force of expression, right? This is why you hear. Because if you don't understand, or you actually want to learn how to control your energy, how to become efficient with energy, because if you feel like a battery, you're tired of feeling drained from helping others, you don't understand why you want to do the best you can for people, but it always hurts you in the long run. You need to balance your force of expression. Welcome to the channel, YNet7. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So you want to talk about chakras and crystals and moon charging and sun charging and this and water and fire and zodiac symbols and all this stuff. How? If you're not in tune with energy, the force of expression. And if you got antennas that you got tuned into the wrong frequencies, you're bringing in the wrong energy. And guess all that you can broadcast is the same frequency. You're a transducer. You may or may not have ever heard it put to you like that before, but that's what it is. And this is why when you get to force, just like you see the plane there breaking the sound barrier, something always has to be broken when you're dealing with force. You ever thought about that? If you bounce a ball with enough force, something's gonna break. The ball, the backboard, shooting them bricks, whatever. If you put enough force to a car, it crumples, and they have crumple zones to reduce the force of impact to the occupants. Reduce the severity, the boldness of the impact to the occupants, Because when you're dealing with force, eventually something has to break. Are you broken? Do you want to make sure that you remain whole? Are you tired of forgiveness? Express yourself. See, because to express is to state, to represent, to depict. Right? It says it was a form to press out. You see what I'm saying? So this is why you got them urges for men, women. And this is why you got them urges for women, men. You trying to press out some representation to describe your expression. And if sex sells, they got you. Because you don't understand your own energy. I did some time. I'm still in marketing and branding. You know, we study some psychology. It's all the law of attraction to me. I've mastered one thing. I keep it simple. There's one law that everything has to obey. And that's why they call it a universal law. You don't understand yourself. Some people don't understand themselves. Or you're here because you want to better understand others. Welcome to the channel, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. We ain't done yet. I'm giving you the full breakdown of why you here. You see the birds down there? The one that says, what's the opposite of depict? So what's the opposite of express yourself? Distort, hide, conceal, suppress, mix up, confuse, color, falsify, garble, misdescribe. Welcome to the channel. You here because you finally want the truth. You done been everywhere else. You done seen all the distortion. You done see everybody hiding the truth from you. They all concealing things. They all want to suppress you. They all want to suppress what you want. They all want to mix up your goals and dreams and ambition. They want to confuse you. They want to color you. They want to falsify your intent. They want to say you're full of garble. They just want to completely misdescribe you because you've been looking for the truth your whole life. Welcome to the channel. YNet7. So, what you really want is power. You see, I know it's a little blurry. Work with me. I got a lot of videos to put out today. So, if you see power and you're reading through that, it was to be able to. It was to be able to. To be able to. See, force, just say you're strong. It don't say you can. You can be the strongest motherfucker in the world. You might not be able to push down that brick wall, that building. You might not be able to move that tank. You might not be able to stop that bullet with your bare chest. But you were strong. You see, that's the problem with force. Whenever you're dealing with force, something has to break. Power, on the other hand, is to be able. You see the difference? See, look at the match. It says, I was able to escape the fire, but I couldn't save the others. See, that match or that lighter on your barbecue grill takes a little bit of the energy that it has. It actually only takes a little bit of the energy. If it was more efficient, like a lighter, the match wouldn't be dead afterwards. Actually, you see, it's a little burnt up there at the top, but I mean, with some proper surgery and some donors, it can have a new head and strike again. You see what I'm getting at? It only took the power in the match was able to manipulate the energy or a portion of the energy to be able to start the fire. We didn't start the fire. It was started by a... Right. Desire. Your desires are changing. Welcome to the channel. See, that's what we're going to get you. We're going to get you full of power, not force. So, a good book I recommend. Power vs. Force. David Hawkins. All right. Among other things. Let's talk about it for a second. So, the source of power. The ultimate, basically what they did is they calibrated human emotion in here and gave it on a scale. Like I said, go watch the Life Vibe series. You'll get a real good assessment of what this is all about. And it's broken down and intertwined with the etymology of the word to show the truth of how it applies. And there's even tarot cards pulled at the end. It's all energy. Even in stock market, you're reading the energy on the charts. Welcome to the channel. YNet7. Thank you for tuning in the replay. So, here we go. The ultimate object of our investigation is a practical rather than an academic or philosophic understanding. This is about the source of power. It's chapter 8 in the book, page number 153. For those that have it. Say YNet7. So, although certain philosophic conclusions can immediately be drawn from even a brief analysis of power and force, from a practical viewpoint, before proceeding, we need to know what the intrinsic source of power is and how it operates. What accounts for its greater strengths? Why is it that force always eventually succumbs to power? In this respect, the Declaration of Independence can provide a rewarding study. This document calibrates at about 700. If one goes through it sentence by sentence, the source of its power appears. It is the concept that all men are equal by virtue of the divinity of their creation, and human rights are intrinsic to human creation and therefore inalienable. Interestingly enough, this is the same concept that was the source of Mahatma Gandhi's power. On examination, we will see that power arises. Excuse me. Slight distraction there. Back to the replay. On examination, we will see that that power arises from meaning. And to break for a second, to force this in, that makes sense when you consider the destination. Makes it easy to, when people agree on the destination, when a body agrees on the destination, it makes it easy to overcome all obstacles. When you don't have agreement on where you're going, you have the opposite of depict. You have distortion. You have hidden it. You have concealed the destination. You have suppressed it. You've mixed it up. You've confused people. You've colored it. You falsified it. You garbled. You misdescribed it. So then you're wondering why you can't get nowhere together, because nobody agrees on where they're going. What's the meaning of why we're doing this? That's the destination. So on examination, we will see that power arises from meaning. It has to do with motive. And it has to do with principle. Power is always associated with that which supports the significance of life itself. It appeals to that in human nature which we call noble. See, the danger there, like I said before and often, is they taught you to be humble because you didn't realize that humble means not proud. And because you didn't realize that humble meant not proud, you didn't realize what proud means, which was noble, excellent, and splendid. So they have taught you to repel anything noble, excellent, and splendid about you, around you, in your future, in your past, etc. And all you have left is humble pie. So that's why you're here. Welcome to the channel. You ready to find your power? YNet 7. So it appeals to that in human nature, which we call noble, in contrast to force, which appeals to that which we call crass. Power appeals to that which uplifts, dignifies, and ennobles. Force must always be justified. You know them people that's like, but I this and when and you're just like, yes or no? Were you able or not? Because if you able, you operating in your power. If you justifying, either you trying to force it or someone done forced you off of your purpose. Power versus force, baby. That's why you here. Welcome to the channel. YNet 7. It's so simple when you just master one law. All these justifications. Love is unconditional. So, power appeals to that which uplifts, dignifies, and ennobles. Force must always be justified, whereas power requires no justification. Force is associated with the partial. Power with the whole. All these holistic people with no power need to do a self-check. If we analyze the nature of force, it becomes readily apparent why it must always succumb to power. This is in accordance with one of the basic laws of physics. Because force automatically creates counterforce. Its effect is limited by definition. we could say that force is a movement. Get with my movement. This is our movement, right? No matter what that movement is. Occupy Wall Street. This, that, the other. Never mind. Let's just move forward. It goes from here to there, or tries to, against opposition. Power, on the other hand, stands still. It is like a standing field that does not move. Gravity itself, for instance, does not move against anything. Its power moves all objects within its field, but the gravity field itself does not move. This is why I don't blame you if you can't stand me. Because the gravity field does not move, yet its power moves all objects within the field. Welcome to the channel. Like attracts like. And if you arrived here today, you got to take a moment to think about it. It's something inside of you that brought you here. So you need to go on, like, subscribe, and share with the people you feel are most like you. I'm not going to hold you hostage, even though I have the power to control your mind. Because those who are not ready to be in my presence will flee on their own. Force always moves against something, whereas power does not move against anything. Force is intrinsically incomplete and therefore has to constantly be fed energy. This is why y'all around people that's always want to hear you say, don't you love me? You never tell me you love me. I need this. I need that. Can you? Why don't you? I just let go. I'm not gonna ask more than a couple times, because normally if I'm asking you the first time you didn't get it, I'm gonna talk to you about it. I'm gonna bring you the knowledge of why. After that, you're just repelling yourself. I'm going to stay in my zone. I'm going to stay in my lane. Power is total and complete in and of itself and requires nothing from outside of itself. It makes no demands. It has no needs. Because force has an insatiable appetite it constantly consumes. Power, in contrast, energizes, gives forth, supplies, and supports. That's why they flee my field. That's why they flee your field. Because they can't stand your vibration. You come with such a high frequency, you're vibrating on such a high level that they like in a microwave, you cooking them. And they got to get out the way. And then they go back and tell all their low vibration people, stay away from him, he gonna cook y'all. And in their own special way that only they can do, that's what they're translating to those people around you. Nah, he ain't this, he ain't that. She didn't do this, she ain't about that. Word. That's translation for that motherfucker right there gonna cook you. Stay the fuck away. Microwave. And then you got the other people that's like, yo, this is the energy I've been looking for. And when you resonate together, oh man, it's such a great feeling. So, you give life. Force kills, basically, because something's got to break. Force takes these away, right? We notice that power is associated with compassion and makes us feel positively about ourselves. Force is associated with judgmentalism. Did you even know there was such? Excuse me. Judgmentalism. That's force. Everybody judging you. You want to judge people because you've been judged, and that programmed you to say, well, this is what I should judge the next person to be. Why they ain't got a family, why they ain't got a house, why they ain't got a car payment, why they don't wear Nike, why they don't do this, why they don't do that. Stop judging people. That's judgmentalism. You a victim of force. You don't know power. And you tired of being around people like that. So welcome to the channel. YNet7. Thank you for tuning the replay. So force is associated with judgmentalism and tends to make us feel badly about ourselves. So because they feel bad about themselves, they got to find a way to make sure you feel bad about yourself. You can't just be walking around here feeling all powerful and good around people that's suffering from grief and don't know how to get out of that box. Now you got an option. You can stick around now. You can deal with that every day and you can drain your own energy, or you can break free. You can be empowered to use the force to break that barrier and have a breakthrough. Force always creates counterforce. Its effect is to polarize rather than unify. Polarization always implies conflict. It costs. Therefore, is always high. Or excuse me, its cost, therefore, is always high. Polarization always implies conflict. Its cost, therefore, is always high. Because force incites polarization, it inevitably produces a win/loss dichotomy. And because somebody always loses, enemies are always created. I just had a conversation with someone last week, and I said, I'm never in competition with anybody but myself. I'm 300 pounds. When I was on the basketball court running with people half my weight that could dunk, my competition was against myself to play the best game that I could play, and they wouldn't beat me, and they'd be mad. They can dunk. I can't dunk. I can tap backboards. They can shoot threes. I don't consider myself a jump shooter. I go to the bucket. I'll cut you the fuck up and go right to the hole and tell you what I'm going to do, and you can't stop it. At 300 pounds. Because I stay within my power instead of trying to force my game to be something that it wasn't. I'm never in competition with anybody but myself. That's why people try to clone me. But they gotta keep you away from me so that you won't know where the source of their song came from. Or they watch my video and they want to go make something like it. You know what I mean? It's okay, because to me, everybody works for me as long as they do them. Even your best efforts of trying to keep me hidden and do it yourself in your own way, that's part of the purpose of my design, because you are translating to those around you so I don't have to waste the energy. Welcome to the channel. So, force always creates counterforce. Its effect is to polarize rather than to unify. Polarization always implies conflict. Its cost, therefore, is always high. Because force incites polarization, it is inevitably produces a win-loss dichotomy. And because somebody always loses, enemies are always created. Constantly faced with enemies, force requires constant defense. That's why you like, why is he so open about everything? I don't have to defend shit. I'm the fucking truth. You want to be too? Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share, put it in the comments, maybe something I can help you with. I'll go ahead and break it down to the etymology. I'll put that equation on there because we ain't about variables here. We don't do judgmentalism. So, where were we at? Constantly faced with enemies, force requires constant defense. Defensiveness is invariably costly. Whether in the marketplace, like the stock market, in politics, or international affairs. In looking for the source of power, we have noted that it is associated with meaning. And this meaning has to do with the significance of life itself. Force is concrete, literal, and arguable. It requires proof and support. The sources of power, however, are beyond argument and are not subject to proof. The self-evident is not arguable. That health is more important than disease. That life is more important than death. That honor is preferable to dishonor. That faith and trust are preferable to doubt and cynicism. That the constructive is preferable to the destructive are all self-evident statements not subject to proof. Ultimately, the only thing we can say about a source of power is that it just is. And that's all you want to do. You just want to be. Welcome to the channel. I got it broke down in sections for you. I put in a lot of work. I'm going to put in a lot more because I've reached a level of consciousness where I often feel alone, even when I'm surrounded by hundreds of people. Things that at one point I cherished dearly in my life have been removed because of what I now know as ignorance simply explained. I'm not going to force them to be anything that they're not. However, I have the power to change the world, which in turn will force them to comply. And if you've been feeling the same way, like attracts like. I'm Pasha Pyro. It's YNet7. Now you know why you should subscribe, why you should share, why you should hit the notification bell, and why you should be in the comments. Let me know how I can help you. Thank you for tuning in the replay. This service is brought to you by #TheBrand.